Welcome dart players one and all. Today on Straight to the Point, we're going to be counting down my top 15 favourite dart matches of all time, in no particular order. First up we have Martin Adams against Michael van Gerwen in the International Darts League back in 2006. In this semi-final, every single leg of darts is won in 15 darts or less. Bear in mind, a 15 darter is 100 average. And this board they're playing on is particularly old school. Very small trebles, staples going through it, but nothing seems to faze them. It's absolutely superb darts. Now we're just watching the first leg here. Van Gerwen started off with 3 beautiful 1040s. Adams does make a little bit of a slip on this particular visit, but still manages to leave 91 after just 12 darts. This entire match has some gigantic outshots and some massive scoring. As we just watch Van Gerwen miss the ball there for the 12 dart break. Wolfie now to take out the remaining 91 that he's left. Bullseye 9, double 16 for a 15 dart hold. And there you have it, as sweet as you like. Game goes all the way to a deciding leg where they both have to bull up, which is then won by Michael van Gerwen. Michael starts the deciding leg with a beautiful 1080 and finishes it off in 12 darts with a stunning 164 out. Yella Clarkson, Andy Fordham and Daryl Fitton were watching that game in the audience and all agreed that was the best game of darts they'd ever seen. And if you look at those averages, it definitely backs it up, especially for the time. That was completely unprecedented. Next up, we have James Wade and Robert Thornton in the PDC Grand Prix 2014, which is a double start event. Before this game, we'd only ever seen a 9-darter done with a double start once in the history of televised darts. And by here, we see James Wade start off with a 160, follow it up with a maximum 1080, leaving the 161 out for the 9-dart finish. And it couldn't be more perfect. I remember before this was achieved, we thought we wouldn't see this for another 10 years. And after he hit her, I thought, there we go, we won't see that for another 20 years. And yet somehow in the same match, Robert Thornton kicks off with a 160. And we're thinking, no, it can't happen. It just can't happen. Wait a minute, it is happening. 180 coming in, and there you have it. 161 left again for 2 9-darters in one match with a double the start. Bearing in mind, we've only ever seen 2 9-darters be done by Phil Taylor in one match at this point. What were the odds on this happening? The rest of the game is thoroughly entertaining, but just for this, it's in the top 15. Next up, we have the legendary World Final in 1992, in which Phil Taylor takes on Mike Gregory. It starts with a sexy dance and ends with a deciding leg. What more could you ask for? But on a serious note, Phil Taylor's scoring in this match was absolutely sublime. Yet somehow Gregory manages to keep with him with just sheer consistency. You can see here his 2 sets all, just starting this 5th set. They come off the break and Gregory straight in with the 180 of his own. Very unorthodox throwing style, but it just made it even more edgy to watch. You just didn't know what was going to happen. I've watched this final 7 or 8 times from start to finish. And I just love the contrast between the players. Phil Taylor's just sheer concentration and Mike Gregory just trying to relax and get on with it like another day in the office. Gregory's finishing in this match is just outstanding. So you just see the 1-2-1 being taken out there. Phil Taylor does take out this great 106 as well, where he's really made a mess with the first dart, and then treble 17 and bull. What a way to rectify it, and that must have hurt. Have it, the scores are still dead level. 5 sets each, 3 legs each. And Gregory goes up and takes another 1-2-1 out. You just could not separate them, and it goes down to a deciding leg, which I'm not going to show. Be sure to watch that game, I don't want to spoil it for you. Next up, in more recent times, just 2018, we have Rob Cross against Michael van Gerwen in the semi-final of the PDC World Championships. At the time, it was rated by most Sky pundits as being the best World semi-final in the PDC, to date, and it's really hard to disagree with him. There's so many big pressure shots in this game, and you just can't seem to separate them. A bit like the Phil Taylor final against Mike Gregory. They're just neck and neck with each other all the way through. As soon as you think one person's going to gain the advantage, it switches back. And if you look at those averages, set for set, it's absolutely mind-blowing. That is not normal darts, believe you me. Especially when a game is this close. Right at the end of the match, again, look, 5 sets all, 4 legs all, 103 plays at 102 average. You just could not split them apart. And deservedly, again, it goes to a bull-up, which I'm not going to show the deciding leg. Watch it, it's worth a go, honestly. In number 5, we have the 2010 World Final against Simon Whitlock and Phil Taylor. Phil storms ahead with the first set, and just when you think he's going to run away with it, Whitlock pushes in this awesome 170 finish. And in the same set, takes out a stunning 1-2-2 finish as well, again, on the ball. The finishing in this World Final was by far the best I think we've ever seen. And Whitlock takes it at 2 sets each. But then Phil Taylor pulls out the hardest shot on a dartboard, a 167 in this 5th set. That is how to win a game. And then in the same set again, a 161 finish. The sister shot. 2 of the hardest shots on the board, that a 167 and a 161. They don't get any harder. Now in the 7th set, Phil Taylor thinking back to that 1-2-2 by Whitlock, thinking, yeah, I'll have a go with that myself. And boy, does he take it out. Again, thinking back now in the 8th set to that 170 Whitlock hit, thinking, I'll have a go with that. What was next? Oh yeah, right in the middle. Split that highest checkout prize money. You'd expect Whitlock now just to give in, but he doesn't. It's just so much finacity in his play. Beautiful 108 checkout. Nevertheless, Phil still gets a go at 131 for the title soon after. Treble 20, treble 13, and now double 16 for one of the best shots to win a world title ever. A fitting end to a beautiful match. Next up from the same year, we have the BDO World Final. Dave Chisnall against Martin Adams, as we just watched Dave Chisnall pushing a beautiful 180 in what is his only 2nd ever visit in a World Final. And how does he follow it up? Yep, with another 180. With this one, have a quick look at how small the doubles and the trebles are on this board that the BDO were using at the time. Averages in this tournament were mainly around the mid-90s. But when you consider how small these targets are, that is absolutely incredible. If you check out Martin Adams' darts here, just pushing a lovely 180. That bed is full. He's using 6.2mm wide darts there. They're very, very thin. Very big difference to what the PDC were using at that time. I love these camera shots. So another great thing about this game is the coverage was absolutely outstanding. And it's here though for the finishing. 156 for Wolfie. And the amount of 180s that Dave Chisnall hit. It was absolutely incredible. I'm just going to show you this leg here that he hits as well, Martin. Starts with a 140. Follows it up with an outstanding 180 again, and these ridiculously small trebles. Check out that camera shot. Why don't we get more of that in the PDC? I do miss those shots. 181 left after just 6 darts, and he puts in 145 to leave double 18 for a 10 dart leg, and pushes it out first dart as well. 170, yeah, why not? Outstanding darts by both players in that match, really underestimated. In our number 7 spot, we have a real humdinger of a game. Adrian Lewis taking on Michael Van Gerwen. Now, at this time, Lewis was being written off big time, and Van Gerwen was quickly known to be the rising force in darts. Just look how quick he reels off these massive outshots at the start of the game. And you can see there's a lot of pressure on both these players. Van Gerwen, because he wants to be the new up-and-coming dart star. And Adrian Lewis, because he's been the future of darts for the last 5 years, and now he's being told he's not. Pace in which these guys are playing as well. This is super fast. I haven't sped this up. This is all real time. It's absolutely insane. Again, recognised by a lot of the Sky commentators and pundits as being the best semi-final in a world match play. And I totally agree with them. This is one of the best games that's ever been played in terms of standard and in terms of rhythm. It's just pure quality to watch. If you haven't watched this game and you really want to watch a good game of darts, you've got to watch this game. It's absolutely unreal. And it's also how close the game is. 14 legs apiece. Lewis wires the double 10 there for a 90 checkout. Van Gerwen comes up wanting 1-2-1 to push ahead, one leg away, and he checks it out. Treble 20, treble 11, double 14, as quick as you like. Now Lewis here in the next leg puts a lovely 180 in to set up that double 14, and you're thinking he's going to have a go, but here we go, treble 20, and he wires the double 13, Van Gerwen. And you look at those faces by the players, you know that was close. But nevertheless, it's double 14, double 7 now, and Lewis gets it for the match. What a game that is. Next up, a much more traditional style of play here. We've got John Lowe against Phil Taylor in 2002, again in the World Match Play. I'm just going to watch this first leg, the first leg of the actual match, where he kicks off John Lowe with 3 consecutive ton 40s. And this was at a time where people were writing him off. He was there more of as a gimmick, a surprise. It was selling tickets. He wasn't winning anything, but he'd passed the best in his career a long time ago. So we thought when he kicks off with a stunning 11-dart leg. Taylor in this game was at his brilliant best. Let's just watch him pumping this 180 here. Again, a great camera shot. Missed those shots. And John Lowe, another stunning 180. Great shot again. Some really good coverage in this match. But it's the traditional old school style of Lowe against the faster, younger Phil Taylor. That's just really, really intriguing. If you look at that 180 there, they couldn't be more perfect. Lowe has 81 just to hang on to Taylor. 1 dart at the bowl. And that becomes a bit of a staple of the game. John Lowe does take out a lot of bowl checkouts in this match. Again, I'm not going to show you the end of this one though. It is on YouTube, ready to watch. And I don't want to spoil it. Next up for our 9th spot, we have Scott Waites against James Wade in the final of the Grand Slam of Darts. And despite Scott Waites starting the first 3 legs with a 180, he could not win a leg. This game is here because it was the first and only time we've seen a BDO player make the Grand Slam of Darts final. Despite Waites's big scoring, every time he misses, Wade just punishes with some outstanding finishing. There's a 107. And very soon after, we see this gorgeous 110 finish on the double 15 as well. To put him 5-0 up, which soon becomes 8-0. Until eventually Scott Waites pegs a double 12 for a 13-darter and sarcastically waves. But then again, starts the next leg with a 180 again. And manages to win that leg. The comeback is on, and the scoring keeps getting better and better. This made a lot of headlines at the time because it was BDO number 6 against PDC number 2. That is how you come back. Just watch Wade throw his darts on the floor in the background. Such an exciting game to watch, that one. In our number 10 spot, this game is here for absolutely obvious reasons. It's considered by a lot of people to be the greatest game of darts of all time. As you see, Phil Taylor started off with a 180. And again, in the first leg, he hits another 180 as well. 2 180s in the first leg. In fact, within the first 3 legs, there are 5 180s and a 171, which you've just seen Lewis put in there. But yep, the game starts with 2 12-dart legs by Phil Taylor. And I think at this point, everyone's thinking, okay, this is just going to be Phil Taylor's day. But Lewis again, 180. never gives up. And here's how he finishes this second leg off on the bull for the back-to-back 12 darters. So starting the third leg, I think everyone's just expecting Lewis to wilter, but he kicks off with a 180. And look at those averages, 125 plays 130. Skip ahead later in the match. It doesn't get much worse. 11 legs Taylor, 8 legs Lewis. Taylor's on 111, Lewis is on 112. It's unreal. In terms of standard, it's really hard to argue that this is the best game of all time. It really is. Just look at those averages. 112 plays 112. 18 legs in. Playing in the 19th leg. And Phil Taylor's on a 9 darter. And Lewis hits a 180 just to put him back in there. It's absolutely unreal. With the next spot, I've done something a little bit different. I've gone with this game purely because of the amount of hype behind it. This was Phil Taylor, the PDC World Champion, playing the BDO World Champion Andy Fordham in 2004 for £100,000. It was set up a bit like a boxing match, just a head-to-head. They called it the Showdown. This was completely, something that was never done before and has never been done since. We see some awesome shots. Look at those throws in slow motion. It's just beautiful. Really, really entertaining stuff in this game. A lot of people expecting Phil Taylor to walk away with it, but nothing could be further from the truth with it. It was very, very competitive. Andy Fordham had a lot of chances he didn't take, and so did Phil Taylor. This is here just because of how good the game was and how massive it was at the time to have the two world champions go head-to-head for massive prize money and the overall crown. The sad part of this game is we never really get an ending, as after one of the breaks Andy Fordham gets taken away, he's hospitalised, and we never get to see what won. Phil Taylor was winning before it, and he definitely looked the favourite. You could see Andy Fordham starting to wilt on the stage, but he was unwell. Next up for number 12, we have the legendary World Final of 2007. Phil Taylor against Raymond van Barneveld. And this was only the second leg where you saw that 164. So it started well for Taylor. And for the first 3 or 4 sets, it was literally all about Phil Taylor. There we go, we're in the 4th set now, and it's just Phil Taylor still just ploughing in 180s and brilliant finishes. Barney was just pretty much out of this game. Phil just wasn't letting him in. But in this 4th set, something just clicks for Barney, and he hits that first 180. And from this point off, he's off like a rocket. And before you know it, it's 6 sets to 5 Barney. And he's still ploughing in 180s. Phil Taylor comes back to 5-6. And Raymond takes out this beautiful 1-2-1 finish. Yep, eat your flights, Phil. That'll help. But on a serious note, the concentration on Phil Taylor is incredible. And he pulls it back to even Stevens. 5 sets, 5 legs apiece. And they are bullying out for what will be the final decisive leg. Now, I will show this one just because we all know who wins. Anyone who knows darts knows who wins this game. So you see Raymond van Barneveld kick off with a beautiful ton. And Phil Taylor here throws a perfect first dart and is distracted. And I think most players here would have taken a big step back, but not Phil. Straight back into the shot. Perfect concentration. And fires at a maximum. And Barney replies in kind, almost in the same holds as Phil's darts, but there could only be one winner. And on this day it was Raymond van Barneveld, who won his first PDC world title, his 5th world title all in all. For number 13 we've got this outstanding semi-final of the BDO World Championships back in 2015, Martin Adams against Glen Durrant. We saw Glen miss that match start there, and Wolfie takes out this absolutely incredible 86 finish under all sorts of pressure. Glen does get a go here, at 86 to push ahead in the decider, and just wires it. Wine comes straight behind him, treble 8, double top, right in the middle. This was such an exciting game to watch, as you just see here Wolfie wanting one more leg to go through, and he kicks off with a stunning 180. During this game we saw Wolfie miss the 9 darter on the double 12. Really good effort on it. Both averages ending nigh on the 100 mark. He follows that ton 80 up with a ton 40, 181 after 6 starts. Easy for Glenn now just to give up. But like pressure's nothing. Straight in there with the 180. Puts him back in the leg. Albeit with an outsider's chance. But that just shows the standard of this match. Ton 1080 and you're not favourite. But here we go, Wolfie wanting 81 for a 12 darter to win the match and go through to another World Final, and it's there. What a great game of darts that is to watch. For a number 14 spot, it's literally just the end of this game that I love watching from here on in. They come back from the break. Phil Taylor's just 2 legs away from beating Steve Beaton, 16 legs to 11. And Steve misses nothing, and I mean literally nothing. The 180 hitting is absolutely impeccable, but more impressively is the finishing. You see Phil Taylor hitting a gorgeous 180 there. But this 64 check out here from Steve. Treble 16, double 8, 2 darts, as sweet as you like. Next leg starts with 57, but follows straight up with a 180. Gets a go at 68, treble 20, double 4. Another perfect 2 dart combination finish there. See Phil shaking his head in the background, thinking I'm letting this one get away from me now. And as Phil Taylor does, perfect concentration and pops in a 180. But Steve's just having none of it. 180, returned inclined. Gets a shot at 61. It's a 5 for the first dart. Now you're thinking, well, he's gone out. But 16 tops. 1 dart's all he needs. It's just unbelievable finishing. And Phil Taylor again does what he does best. Concentration, 180 like it's nothing. But again, Steve, in kind, 180 returned. Where is it coming from? Gets a shot at 68, 20 with the first dart, 16, 1 dart at double. And again he's popped it out. And now he's 1 leg away. And he gets 3 darts at double 16 in this last leg of the match. And sees it off. It's such a stunning comeback right at the last minute. I remember just being gobsmacked when I watched this game. In number 15, we have the Premier League final, again back in 2010. What a year for darts this was, 2010. We see James Wade starting the leg with a 180 to open up the final and finishing the first leg off with a beautiful 136 finish. Laying down the gauntlet for Phil Taylor. But in the second leg, Phil Taylor looks at James Wade's beautiful 12 dart leg and thinks, I can do a bit better than that, James. Kicks off with a stunning 174. Backs it up with a beautiful maximum again. 147 left for the 9. Treble 20, treble 17, double 18. And there you have it, middle for diddle. Absolute gorgeous starting by the power. But James Wade hangs on in there. And you see here he wants a 1-2-1 here to take it to 4-6 on the scoreboard to get him back in the match. And he's hit it. James Wade's finish in this game, his overall performance in this game was absolutely outstanding. It does get overlooked when people talk about this game just how good James Wade was. You see him putting another maximum there. And here we have it, 7 legs apiece. So no matter how good Phil Taylor's playing, James is still even with him. As Phil Taylor puts in a 180. Follows it up with another maximum 180. And puts himself on the 9 dart finish again. Now at this point you're thinking James is just going to ride the leg off, never mind. No, puts in a 180 of his own. He never gives up, he's so tenacious. But treble 20, treble 19, double 12 for two 180s in a match. First time it's ever been done. And there you have it. So it comes down to it. Scoreboard 8-9 now in legs. Phil Taylor one more leg away. Gets a shot at 88 for the match. And he's straight in that treble 20. Why is that double 14? But you know he's going to bounce it off the top of that. And he just pins it perfectly. What an incredible game of darts that is. So that's my top 15 anyway. I haven't just done this based on standard of play. It's the overall excitement, entertainment value of the game, as well as bits of darting history within them. So that is it for today. That's straight to the point. Thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.